Ask George is brought to you by International Cricket Tours. International Cricket Tours have decades of experience right around the world. If you love cricket, if you love travel, contact International Cricket Tours.
Hugh Turbervill here with Mark Machado, Sri Lankan cricket expert. You might be missing somebody. Ask George. Poor George, he's got a cold, so he's gone back to his hotel room. Have a nice hot toddy and we'll hopefully see you in the morning, George. But here we are, we've just had the second day, the Saturday of the third test between England and Sri Lanka at the Kia Oval. It's Ask Mark Hugh, no George. So here we go. First question is from Indoor Kite Society, and they say, does Mark now believe that there are things that Chris Woakes cannot do? For example, spin bowling. And Neil Virani, this is a similar question, says, has Chris Woakes just booked his place on the Pakistan tour? So you go first.
Firstly, I'd love to see it. Obviously, I thought it was one of those things that people will talk about for a long, long time. So it'll become a trivia question before someone digs it out in like 15 years' time. Just a clip of it that goes viral again. I think it's been brilliant this series, and it'd be really harsh if they didn't take him. I don't know what you.
Well, I mean, I know what George would say if he was here. He'd say it's the Kookaburra ball, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you know, we all know the massive disparity between his average at home and average away. But they might decide to give him another go. They like having an experienced member of the attack. You know, does he want to go? I expect he probably does.
Isn't the whole game though just trying to keep players in form for as long as you can keep them in form?
I mean, we all had high hopes in when he went to West Indies in 2022. We had high hopes that he'd do something, and then he didn't again. It just doesn't seem to get the sort of right lengths with the Kookaburra ball. But you know, they have lost Stuart Broad, they have lost James Anderson. Maybe they'll be loath to lose Chris Woakes as well. So yeah, he might well get it. The spin bowling was extraordinary, wasn't it? I mean, I've never seen. I personally haven't seen it in a test. A bowler change what he's bowling halfway through. I mean, Alec Bedson, the very way back, used to start bowling cutters, didn't he?
Yeah.
And we've seen Ollie Robinson bowl it in a spell, but not the same over. No. I mean, you really would think the umpires would just wait till the end of the over, wouldn't you? But,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure questions will come about the light. We can talk about that.
Yeah, well, we've seen some strange things in this match, and that was another strange thing. So, yeah. Okay, Reece Benjamin asks, is there a method by which England can put in a complaint against the umpires? I've been here both days, and Joel Wilson has been incredibly jumpy and skittish and trying to go off at every opportunity. To be fair, they used to say the same about Dickie Bird, didn't they?
Yeah. Was it George earlier before he had to go home for bad cold?
Yeah.
Was he making the point that he was wearing sunglasses as well?
He did, but I mean, yeah, but aren't they designed to improve your vision? Yeah. So I think I think it's a bit harsh because we saw them take the reading on the first day, and then that becomes the benchmark for the test, doesn't it? And if I don't know, buzzer goes off in his pocket and that comes, then they've got to come off, haven't they? We can't see that well, can we? Because it's quite dark in the press box. It's tinted glass, yeah.
I do feel bad for the players as well. If you're the set batter, and then suddenly you have to go off, and then you're sitting around for 20 minutes. Even if you come back on, you have to reset yourself, right? You're probably thinking. There's incidents where I'm sure where you're thinking, well, I could bat all day now, and then suddenly you go off and it changes your whole mindset, and everyone suffers from it.
Yeah, I was just looking to see if there's any other questions. Oh yeah, there is about the slow bowling. So let's come back to that. So we've got Jack Rule now. What will it need for Sri Lanka to get back to the days of having household names around the world? Murali, Jayawardene, Sangakkara, Jayasuriya were names known all around the world. I'm going to leave you with that one. You're the expert.
I think it's a great question. I woke up this morning, I saw loads of Sri Lanka fans were talking about Teachner Hasaranga and Dineth Walalaga's performance in the CPL last night. I think we're just got to get used to a world where Sri Lanka's best players, the most popular players, the players that people are talking about, are going to be playing white ball cricket. And sadly, they're not going to, I take no joy from saying it, but that's the reality of the world we live in.
Yeah, it's probably like two codes, like rugby union, rugby league, isn't it? And I remember Jonathan Davis leaving the Welsh rugby team to go and play rugby league. I mean, it's just one of those things, isn't it?
For all the news and all the best analysis, subscribe to The Cricketer now for just £3.99 a month.
Right, Mike asks, so in wanting to keep playing and have actually ended up harming themselves and brought Sri Lanka back into the game, or is this punishment for their rancid batting this morning?
Can we say a little bit of both? I mean, Sri Lanka really batted quite badly for some of those wickets, I felt. And I do wonder if maybe DDS and Kamindu might have kind of hung about regardless of the light. Obviously, we'll never know. They definitely do prefer to play spin than they do pace, and the England bowlers are on fire as well. So I can totally understand the frustration, which is also, I mean, I wonder how much, if you're an England player and you're told, right, you can't bowl pace anymore, you have to bowl spin, how much the idea that actually all these people come out to see us, we've got to put on some sort of show, comes into it. I don't know.
Yeah, it fits in with Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum's ethos about entertainment and so forth. They're 2-0 up in the series. It reminded me actually of my first overseas match, test match at Sydney in 94-5, when England were pressing for victory after Gus Fraser bowled this brilliant spell, and they had to bowl Graham Gooch and Graham Hick and Phil Tuffers, he was tired by then. I think he bowled a lot of overs. It was frustrating, and it was similar to that, but Sri Lanka batted themselves back into the game. Unfortunately, Josh Hull put a catch down, which I can relate to only too easily.
Yeah,
dropping dollies like that. But yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, you were wondering about the light, whether the lights had got into Josh's.
Yeah. Whether the lights had just got into his eyes or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, maybe just hasn't played enough county cricket. I don't know.
Yeah, I looked into the light.
A few seasons of county cricket, he would catch those. I don't know.
Well, he's only had a couple, hasn't he? He's played very little. He was playing league cricket last year. Yeah. I must admit, I just looked into the lights and looked back, and it just. So if you're batting, you shouldn't look in the lights and then wait for the bowlers to come in. You probably have to get sort of used to them, wouldn't you? As to England's rancid batting this morning, I mean, yesterday, they're all 10 wickets. No one was got out from what I could see. There were 10 catches, 9 outfield catches, 1 by the keeper, but that wasn't even an edge. That was a Ben Duckett spooning up a scoop, wasn't it?
I mean, Southern Jayasuriya in the press conference was absolutely evangelical about Sri Lanka's bowling, but I kind of agree with you. I think England came.
I don't think they bowled well either. They bowled poorly yesterday, but perhaps a bit better today. But England cannot be so generous against better opposition. I can't see them being.
Do you think though, once they got to kind of around over about 280, they just thought that's enough? It's the first innings. Well, we can just have.
It might not be enough, but I mean, I thought they certainly wanted to press up on today, and that was perhaps understandable with the loss of play yesterday. But sorry, I'm not used to it. I've been watching Test cricket for 42 years, watching Test cricket for 42 years, and I just can't get used to gifting wickets like that. Test cricket is all about challenge between bat and ball. Bowlers are trying to get you out, and you're prizing your wicket, and I just don't see it personally. But hey, I'm an ideologue, I suppose. So yeah, thanks for the coddle. What have we got now? Last question. Aidan McLaughlin asks, have the ECB today appointed the next head coach of the England men's cricket team? He is talking about Andrew Flintoff's appointment as England Lions coach.
I think it's a case of Andrew Flintoff is a great character that we all love. Field of Dreams is absolutely excellent. He's definitely someone, if he's available, you want in and around your setup. I think there's a lot of questions about how long Baz might stay around to do bits and pieces for the England team, and when they might need a coach. And then at that point, when they do, does he want to do the job? It's a big old job. You're away from family a lot. You're on the road a lot. Does he want to do it? We'll have to. I think you can only know the answer to that when it happens, right? But I think it's a good thing for England to keep him in the setup, because the players seem to love him, people seem to love him. He puts a smile on people's faces. He enjoys doing it.
Yeah, I think the next Ashes is the cut-off point for Brendan McCullum to decide, whether to carry on or not, and England for him to decide whether they want him to carry on. As you say, Andrew Flintoff, we've all been watching Field of Dreams. He's absolutely inspirational. He's brilliant with young people. He's been through a really hard time. So I think he's absolutely got the pedigree anyway, hasn't he? He's good with youngsters. So to me, it looks like a good appointment. There's a little bit of an element of sort of bit of a tiny bit of a chumocracy about the whole thing, but absolutely Freddie has got the credentials as a great Test player, all-round player, and so it's a good appointment, I think. Yeah.
I do wonder in these roles how much coaching you actually do, and how much of it is about the kind of atmosphere that you're able to create, as well as the kind of culture around around the team you're able to create. Like,
Yeah.
I suppose when you go on long England Lions tours, sometimes they do go away for long periods of times. You will be looking to work on technique and stuff like
I mean,
that.
not as long as they used to be, are they?
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple of test matches. You probably two or three test matches in England, 2 or 3 test matches abroad. Lions tests. You won't have much time to do that much coaching. It is pumping players' tyres up. Reece Topley was telling me about playing in a franchise, and the coaches don't do much coaching. It's just literally telling everybody how good they are.
Great they are,
And Freddie will be good at that, won't he?
Yeah.
So definitely.
It'd be brilliant. I mean, like, I'm never going to play any sort of sport again, but if I was, I'd love Freddie to be the coach.
Yeah.
I've never been in the dressing room with him, but I'd already run through a brick wall for him, right?
Right. Well, he's a talented guy, isn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
he's got an amazing sort of TV career, and now he's coming back into coaching. So we all wish him the best. Right. Well, we'll see you hopefully with George back tomorrow, and we'll see you from day 3 of the Kia Oval, the third test, England v Sri Lanka. Good night.